Welcome back to Power Panel 365. This is your host, Star Coates.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna introduce you on now. You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So today, I'm gonna introduce Jerome Eubanks, book author, community leader, public speaker, and I'm so glad to have you on, Jerome. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing perfect, and I want to say thank you for having me on. It's really a truly honor and a blessing to be able to be on this show and speak with you.
Thank you. So tell us a little bit about your community outreach and exactly what it is that you do within your community.
Well, for me, it's about trying to help young teenagers have some type of mentor. I'm working with an organization called the Dallas Promise Inc. They mentor young teenagers. It basically is just some organization that they work at like the Cowboy Stadium. We have meetings, regular meetings and talks, discussions about life in general, things that they go through during school, and especially for me, because I like to always tell them about my situation because I hated school. It was just very few things I liked about school, and that was football and girls and skipping. Those are the only three things I liked about school. So I try to, talk to them about that and let them know how important school really is, besides those three things. And being popular, too. I want to be popular. But, that's me. But that's what I do. I mean, I love doing this. Good organization. Like I said, we give them clothes. If the parents need help with clothes or any type of food assistance, it's a great organization. I wish it was my idea, but I'm just a backseat driver.
Well, kind of share with us some of your trips. We talked recently about you going and taking trips to talk to the youth. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, there is just it's basically almost the same thing. I try to share my story and my experience on what I've been through in my life and about school, and I try my best to basically open their eyes to what's ahead of them, and I always want to be truthful with them because we as parents, I think we like to sugarcoat things too much and not tell them the truth about what's going on in this world and what to expect. And so by us doing that, we leave them stuck out. So I try to tell them the complete truth of everything I know, no matter if it's good or bad. I would rather for them to know the whole truth and what's ahead of them. So that'll give them a better outlook in what direction they really need to go instead of just going at it blind-heartedly. But I love doing that. That's a pet peeve of mine right there. I mean, to me, there's nothing better besides serving God than to help people, young people especially.
That's good. So you just try to make sure that you let them know about your experience. That way they don't kind of go down that same direction or in that road.
Right. For me, that's the most important thing because I lost my life and it took a lot of pain and suffering for me to finally find my life. If that make any sense, because I was in the world of no man's land. I was just cast away, and for a very very long time, even before I was convicted, wrongly convicted. I would say I was lost way before then because I was on the wrong path with no guidance, no directions, none whatsoever. And I can't blame my mom because she had 4 kids to raise, and at that time she was a single parent. So and plus I was raised in the projects, you know, and in the projects, a lot of people know there's nothing there. You know, they nothing but drugs, guns, knives, murder, robbery, rape, and that's what I was introduced to. So I thought I had it all figured out at a young age, but I was sadly mistaken. And I just didn't have anybody to guide me. And that's what I'm trying my best to do now. Have some type of guidance and awareness for young people, because it is so very important that we put these young kids on the right path. If we are to have a better future, a better world, then we have to start educating these kids, because those are the ones that's going to make a difference in the future.
Yeah. And you being a mentor to them and sharing your experience, that will let them know that, you know, these are the pros and cons of what can happen, you know,
Right.
if you live a certain type of lifestyle, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's all glamorous, because I thought it was too. You know, I really did. I thought it was. I mean, I was gonna say I was a bad kid, because I really didn't get into too much trouble.
Yeah.
But I was hanging around the wrong crowd, and I guess looked up to the wrong people. But I always had it in my heart to do right and to do good. It's just I was being misled at a young age, and before I knew it, it was too late to do anything about it. If that makes any sense. Well, at least I felt like it was too late to do anything about it. Even though it was, I could have did something. I felt in my heart, in my mind, well, because see, I couldn't read and write, and I think I was probably, I want to say like maybe 20 years old before I really realized that I couldn't read and write. It never really dawned on me.
Yeah.
I never knew I couldn't read and write. I knew it, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
And until it was too late, till I really had a family and stuff like that, and was trying to get a good job to feed them and put a roof over their head, that's when I basically realized, hey, we got problems. You know, big problems. You know, and before I could even do anything about it, then the next thing you know, I was shackled and handcuffed and sent to prison. You know what I'm saying? So that was a heck of an experience. So I would hate anybody, kids, to go through what I went through. It was like I said, it was a heck of a journey, but I wouldn't trade it in for nothing in the world right now. And I know a lot of people might think that sounds crazy, but it made me who I am today, a better person.
Yeah. And, you know, our experiences, it changes us.
It really does. It changed me for the best. I could be mad, which I was mad for a long time. I was even mad at God for a long time. So I couldn't figure out why. Man, God, where you at? You know, I don't get on my knees. I don't cry. I don't do what else you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? It was like, okay, God. And it seemed like he was never there. It seemed like God was never there for me. No matter what I did, no matter how hard I cried or how hard I prayed, I felt like God wasn't there for me. And I felt that for a long time. And you know, I would even say this, that I ain't never been a suicidal person in my whole life. Never, ever. And when I found out that I was like gonna lose all my eyesight, I think that was probably the worstest place I ever been in my life. Because I think at that time I started wishing death up on myself. Because I was like, man, God, I don't want to be here no more, man. Why don't you just kill me? This is an evil world. You know what I'm saying? I was like, and I would pray that to God, man. God, just, you know, let me die in my sleep or something, you know. And I'm glad that never happened, but that was probably the lowest point in time in my life at that particular time. And I just hate for anybody, kid, to feel unloved, like nobody care about them, and society kicking them, and I just don't want nobody else to go through that. I'm willing to do whatever I have to do to stop anybody from going down the road that I just got off of. And that's, God knows that's the truth. I don't care who it is. It could be the man in the moon or the woman in the moon. I don't want nobody to go through what I went through because it was a difficult time. But I can honestly say that God prepared me for it. I just wasn't aware of it at that particular time.
Yeah.
That's why I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't wish it on nobody, but I wouldn't change it. I would go through it all again because if I didn't go through that, I might have been dead.
Yeah.
You see, so you never know what's the other side of what you went through. You might think, well, if I don't go through all these bad things, maybe all these good things gonna happen to me on this side. But the other side might be death too. That might be the ultimate sacrifice on the other side. So I'd be happy to go through the side I went through again. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy that might sound. I'll pick that side again every time. But but I still wouldn't want nobody to go through it. I really would. Unless they were prepared,
Yeah.
Unless God got them and hey, you can rock it. But just going through it for the heck of it or for stupidity, it wasn't a good road. And we must do something to educate these kids. We really do.
Yeah. Now, you did something really nice. You made a really great contribution recently, and we talked about it before, that you wanted your book to get into some of the right hands. Talk to me about your contribution.
Oh, okay. Well, with the book, when I got exonerated in 2017, I had it on my heart to do something. God revealed to me that I was going to do something with young people when I was in prison. But I didn't believe it because I was still in prison. But he showed me that I was going to work with young people. So after I finally got out in 2017, when I was finally exonerated in 2017, let me say that, I decided to write a book. And in the process of writing the book, I self-published the book. I decided to donate it to charity. I donated it to that Dallas Promise Inc. organization. It's a nonprofit. So I went ahead and just donated them all proceeds of the book. I feel like that would be my contribution to putting a foot forward to where my mouth feels, saying that I'm willing to help and give whatever I can to help all kids, no matter who kids they are. So to me, they can have all proceeds. I don't care nothing about the book like that. I care about it getting into the right hands and it helping people. But for it's the money value, I don't care nothing about that. I had at once when I had about, I think 25 or 30 books. I was walking around passing them out. I used to, hey, you like to read? Hey, here's a book right here. It's autographed. You can have it. People look at me and say, don't take it if you don't like to read. I used to tell them all because I'm giving it to you. Please tell people about it and read it. You can have it. They used to just look at me crazy, especially with all the COVID and stuff going on. They trying to make sure I have my mask on. I was like, oh, I got my mask on. I just want to give you something. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to give you the COVID. I'm just trying to give you a book. Yeah. So I mean, that's where my heart was about the book. I just want to help people. I mean, when I was in prison, like I said, I couldn't read and write. So every night, I used to just sit up there and try to read the Bible. Every single night. All my free time went to trying to read the Bible. And I started with John 3:16 because I knew that verse. And so by me reading the Bible and trying to read the Bible and learning how to read the Bible, however people want to put it, it brought me closer to God. I used to marinate on his words. After I read something, I might read it one sentence probably a million times before I went to sleep. That same sentence, I just read it over and over and over and over and over. And then when I went to sleep, I used to dream about it. I used to fantasize about what I just read if it was just one sentence that I understood. And I did that for 10 years straight. That's what I did. And it brought me closer to God. So I come to learn that we don't love each other. We don't love each other as people. We really don't. We don't care nothing about each other. And that's the sad part about it. That's what God has revealed to me. We don't love each other. And that's why what happened to me happened, because if anybody cared about, if people really cared, it wouldn't happen to people like me, people like Alan, people like Joe, or even Lisa. It would happen to these type of people. These things would not happen because we would care and want to know the full truth.
Right.
And want to give out justice, but we don't, you know. So like I said, I marinated on God's words, and he revealed a lot of things to me. And I feel like that I'm on the right track and trying to bring awareness to helping young people. That's what we need to start this fight at. If we are to really make any type of change or headway, you can't do it from the top. You have to start at the bottom, and the kids are the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're like a beltway to the penitentiary. They coming. And the people who run the system, they know that these kids are coming. They prepare for them to come because they coming in droves. And I don't even know they coming.
Wow.
You know, and that, but to me, that's where it started. That's why I'm so big on trying to help these kids. That's the only way you're gonna really change the system.
Man. And let me ask you this: how has the church or how has the Lord played a role in your life, giving you hope, especially when you were on the inside? Just talk about. I know you talk about him all the time, but just give me pieces of something that your experiences that you had either with the church or with the Lord in general.
Well, it's funny you asked because when I like I said, I marinated on God's word when I did that. I did my whole sentence, the whole 10 years. They gave me 10 years. They made me do the whole 10 years, and I wasn't a bad inmate. I would like to think I was a student inmate, because I really didn't get in trouble. Even though I did get beat up almost the first week I was there. Somebody hit me over the head, but I mean, when I first got out after I did that 10 years, I went to a church, and I feel like that's what God wanted me to do, because I wanted to go talk to a pastor, and I picked the biggest church in Dallas. I ain't gonna say their name, but it was one of the biggest churches in Dallas because I always heard about them on TV.
Yeah.
They always send the inmates little old newsletters, like from the pamphlets, and I used to always read them. And I used to always read about this pastor, and I was like, God is blessing that man. So I had it in my heart I was gonna go to his church, because I thought God was like on his side all the way, and he was gonna pray for me and help me. I mean, I don't know where I got that crazy idea from. I thought they were gonna help me. So the first week I was out, I went to that church, and I was so overwhelmed and grateful just to be there that I went up there to get prayed for, and they were praying for people, and they was like, "What you praying for? What's wrong? What you need prayer for?" And I was like, "I went to prison for a crime I didn't commit, and I'm just not getting out, and I need some help and stuff like that." And don't nobody believe me that I'm innocent. And so they prayed for me. About 5 or 6 people prayed for me. A whole bunch of people praying for me. I liked them. And then I think I keep praying for me. One of them said, "So, what you go to prison for?" And I said, "Well, they said I raped a woman." And they all looked at me. He said, so you registered sex offender? I said, yeah, they got me registered as a sex offender and everything. And they just shook their head like, oh, okay, we're going to pray for you. And then that next Sunday, I went back again, and they distanced themselves so quick. And the women, it like it spread it through the whole church. Hey, man, he's a sex offender. We're going to watch him. That's the way it felt. And it's like, did nobody talk to me like that did that first time I went? It's just like the whole church knew I was a sex offender all of a sudden, you know. I feel like they must have told everybody to watch me or something. So everybody, they didn't really sit by me. Then if they did sit by me, it was like men. And I felt so uncomfortable. So when I left that church, it was like I was defeated. I was totally defeated then because I really felt like there ain't no hope. You know, I feel like that God wasn't going to help nobody like me, that it was just a fantasy of mine, that I was just dreaming. I was hoping up on a star. I was like tattoo on Fantasy Island looking for the plane. I was hoping for something that wasn't there, you know. And
Yeah.
but all behold, like I tell everybody, I never lifted a finger to help myself out, yet I still got exonerated. The only thing I ever did was pray. I prayed. And God didn't help me on my time, he helped me on his time. He wasn't through with me yet. Or I wasn't all the way through the furnace yet. You know what I'm saying? I really just was beginning. The way I look at it now, at that particular time, I was just beginning. That was just the beginning stage. So, I mean, I don't know. I just love God, and I could see that God did a lot of work in my life. I just wasn't aware of it, and that goes for everybody else. When we give something to God, we have to really give it to Him. And
Now, talk about, you told me, that when you're on the inside, God answered one of your prayers because you said, you wanted some help with your case. And tell us what agency showed up for you.
okay, in 2010, they rearrested me because I got out in 2003. I went to prison in 1993. I got out in 2003. I did the whole 10 years. So they rearrested me in 2010 for failure to register as a sex offender. And so when they rearrested me, and I was in there for a minute, and I think 2012, I get a visit from a lawyer. I had a lawyer visit. And I'm like, a lawyer visit? And I'm like, I don't need no lawyer. What a lawyer coming to see me for? And at first I thought, oh man, they finna put another rape case on me or something. That's what I really thought. I was like, oh God, man, I can't handle no more of this. Who they finna say I'm raped now? Because they had to shackle me up and put the cuffs on me and take me to go see the lawyer because I'm already in TEC. I'm way out here by Brownsville or somewhere. And they're like, why, what a lawyer you come to see me? I ain't hired no lawyer. I ain't got no money. And I'm sorry, man. And so I was like, I ain't got no money. Why a lawyer want to come see me? So I went up in there and I sat there, tall, skinny dude. And he said, how you doing, Mr. Eubanks? My name is such and such. I work for the Innocent Project. And I said, the Innocent Project, and I looked at him. He said, I'm going to talk to you about your case. You don't mind talking to me about it? And I told him, I'd be happy to talk. What you want to know? So I told him everything. And then when he got ready to leave, but he basically told me he was here to, he was there to represent, I don't know why they keep calling me. He told me that they was here to represent my co-defendant. And I was like, my co-defendant, okay, but what about me? I'm innocent. I'm innocent too. So, we talked, and I told him everything what happened, and he ended up telling me that they was going to send me a questionnaire to fill out to see if they would take my case. So that's basically how that happened. And it's so funny you ask me about it. When they sent me that questionnaire to fill out, I still ain't perfect on reading and writing. And they sent me a questionnaire about about 500 pages thick, a survey. I was like, how I'm going to fill out all this stuff? There's too much personal information that I can't really just put down on paper. So I got this guy named, they call him Johnny Cochran, black guy, in prison. He's jailhouse lawyer, so they call him Johnny Cochran. And, he always said he got a couple people exonerated. I ain't never seen it, but he always claimed that. So I go to him and I tell him, I say, man, how much would it cost you to fill out this paperwork for me? And I think he charged me about $200 or something. And it took me a long time to pay it off. I went without food. I gave him everything in my locker. I mean, anything I could do to make money, I did to pay him off to fill that paperwork out because I knew that was my way out. And so I got that filled out and I sent it in to him. And I never heard from him in projects again until, I never heard from him after that at all anyway. And in 2014, the district attorney came to see me. And when the district attorney came to see me, that's when I knew it was real. I was scared at first, I ain't gonna lie. I was scared. Because I didn't know why they was coming to see me. I just seen the badges and stuff, and the gun, I was like, oh, Lord, here we go. And so the Innocent Project, I just give them so much praises because they are the best, one of the best organizations in the world when it comes down to justice. Because they do all what they do for free.
Wow.
A lot of people.
So, okay. Let me ask you this too. We'll save some of that. But okay. I want to ask you another question. Now, is there anything that you want to see, any types of changes that you want to see in the community, or any goals that you want to set, for the community?
Well, for me, I got goals set. I'm going to get ready to start my own organization, really, and it's going to be called Activists for Justice Nationwide, and I'm in the process of getting that started, and it's going to be an organization that does a lot of different fronts, a lot of different things. Because I'm from Texas. Texas, you go big or go home. So I say big. And so it's going to be a big organization. But not only is it going to deal with the justice system, but it's more or less I want to deal with the youth and the kids, of educating them. Because, like I said, I want to stop the pipeline, the easy access to the penitentiary. If we can stop and put a hold to that in our communities, there wouldn't be so many young people locked up, or there wouldn't be so many innocent people locked up. We got to stop the pipeline. So that's my goal. And I want, and then even in an organization, like I want to try to, like, say if your kid need, the police want to question your son for something, I want to be able to send your son a lawyer. Not necessarily represent him in the court matter, but if the police want to talk to your son, he need to have representation with him.
Right.
Because if you say the wrong thing, he can lose his life. He can get caught up in the system. And so I think we really need, as parents and as an adult, we need to start having them being represented anytime that they deal with the police, the system at all, no matter what it is. And that's one of my goals right there, to set that up. Because like I said, I want to stop the flow. I want to stop that flow of kids going up in there. And I just like to see the community really, if we can all just start coming together and start being one community. The word community means we together, but we really not together. because a lot of people don't care about what's going on in their community. You know, let alone they don't even care about what's going on in their own house.
Right.
Then they care if the neighbor got something to eat. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just being real with you. How don't they care about their own house? So there's a lot of things that I like to see change, but I mean, we need to just start showing more love in our community. That's my goal, is just to bring awareness that we need to start loving each other like a real family. Even though we might not be blood related, but we are, because we were created by God. So in reality, we are related, no matter how we look at it. So.
Okay, well, as my last and final request from you, before we close out, do you want to end by letting us, either know where can we find Jerome, or a poem, or a prayer? What do you want to close out with?
Well, they can find me, right now, I don't too much be on a lot of social media. I guess because of my eyesight, I hate bumping through that, and sometimes I get discouraged, because like, I can't see it, but you can find me on Facebook, Jerome Eubanks, or I think it's the Instagram or Twitter, but it's called Guilty Until Proven Innocent When a Woman Cries Rape. That's my handle on Twitter, I believe. Guilty Until Proven Innocent When a Woman Cries Rape, yeah. And, but yeah, you can find me on Facebook for right now. And I think in probably a couple of months, my organization will be up and running too. So if God is willing, real soon, they'll be able to find me everywhere.
Okay.
For it.
And then we're going to be talking again, and I'm so glad to have you on as a guest.
Yes, ma'am.